The grand hall of the Galactic Council was a place of white marble and arrogance. High Chancellor Valerius, a creature with shimmering silver scales and 6 eyes, looked down from his pedestal at the human delegation. Ambassador Elias Thorne, you claim humanity deserves a seat on the high tier. You claim your species has potential. But look at you. You have no natural armor, no telepathy. You haven't even mastered zero-point energy without our blueprints. You are biological accidents. Ambassador Elias Thorne didn't flinch. At 60 years old, his hair was gray, but his back was straight. Beside him, Sarah Jenkins, a young tech officer, gripped her data tablet. "We have provided the labor that built your Dyson rings, Chancellor," Elias said calmly. "We have fought the void wraiths on your borders when your own soldiers fled. We have earned our place." Valerius laughed, a sound like grinding stones. "To settle this once and for all, the Council has decreed a mandatory genetic audit. We will scan your DNA. We will prove your lineage comes from the primitive mud of a death world, and then we will officially classify humanity as a servant species, forever." Elias looked at the other council members, the insectoid mantis folk, the floating gas beings. They were all smirking. "If that is your wish, Chancellor," Elias said, his voice dropping to a whisper, "but I warn you, some doors are closed for a reason." The scanner, a massive ring of blue light, descended from the ceiling. It passed over Elias and Sarah. On the giant screens above, the double helix of human DNA appeared. "Scanning," the automated voice announced. The council members began to whisper. "Look at those junk sequences," mocked a Vexari hive lord. "So much wasted code. They are barely above cattle." But then the screen turned red. A warning chime echoed through the station. "Error," the computer stated. "Genetic markers 8 through 900 are encrypted. Accessing ancient archive for cross-reference." The High Chancellor frowned. "Encrypted? Impossible. Proceed with the brute force decryption." Elias Thorne stepped forward. "Chancellor, stop the scan. You don't know what you're doing. If you finish this, the quiet agreement ends. Earth will withdraw." "Sit down, human," Valerius snapped. "You are a subject of the Council. We will see what you really are." Elias looked at the other council members. He gave a small, sad nod. "Initiate protocol Silent Ghost," he whispered. Sarah's fingers flew across her tablet. In an instant, every human in the room stood up. They didn't wait for the results. They didn't beg. They began packing their belongings in perfect military silence. "Where are you going?" Valerius demanded. "The scan is almost complete." "You wanted to see our past, Chancellor," Elias said as he reached the doors. "But you aren't ready for the future. As of this moment, the United Terran Federation withdraws from all galactic treaties. We are no longer your builders. We are no longer your shields. Goodbye." The doors hissed shut. The humans were gone. At first, the council laughed. "Let them go," Valerius stated. "They will be back in a month when their heaters stop working." He was wrong. 48 hours later, the Nexus Station power grid flickered. The human engineers who maintained the core hadn't just left. They had taken the specialized cooling rods with them. Rods only humans knew how to calibrate. 1 week later, the Element 935 shipments from the Sol asteroid belt ceased. Without it, the Council's FTL jump gates began to overheat and shut down. Trade stopped. The galactic stock market crashed. 2 weeks later, the Promaxian raiders, seeing the human patrol ships gone, struck the Xylos shipyards. The Council's elite fleet, without human tactical support, was decimated in hours. In Geneva, deep underground, Admiral Diane Powell stood before a glowing map of the stars. "Plan Omega is active," she told the gathered leaders. "The Council tried to look at our blood. Now we show them what that blood can do."
On the screen, hidden shipyards in the Oort cloud began to glow. Massive ships, not the transport freighters the aliens knew, but jagged silver warships, slid into the vacuum. They weren't using Council engines. They were using something much, much older. Back on Nexus Station, the Council was in a state of terror. The computer was still processing the scan. It had been running for 14 days, eating up the station's entire processing power. Finally, a golden light filled the chamber. The screens didn't show primitive mud. They showed a star map, a map of the galaxy as it looked 100,000 years ago. Every jump gate, every Dyson sphere, every citadel, including Nexus Station itself, was highlighted in the same golden hue as the human DNA. Match found, the computer spoke, its voice now sounding reverent. Lineage, the architects, status, returned.
The High Chancellor fell out of his chair. The architects? The mythical first race that built the galaxy and disappeared? Dr. Aris, the Council's head scientist, trembled as he read the data. Chancellor, the junk DNA in humans, it wasn't waste, it was the master keys. Their DNA is the encryption code for every piece of ancient technology in the universe. We haven't been ruling over a lesser species, we've been insulting the landlords. Suddenly, the station's sensor screamed. A fleet had just emerged from hyperspace. Not at the jump gate, they had jumped directly into the center of the system, a feat thought to be impossible. The flagship was 10 times the size of the Council's dreadnought. On its side, the United Terran Federation logo glowed with the golden light of the architects. A hologram appeared in the center of the Council chamber. It was Ambassador Elias Thorne, but he wasn't wearing a suit anymore. He was wearing silver armor that pulsed with the rhythm of the station itself. "The scan is finished, I assume?" Elias asked. His voice was no longer tired. It was ancient and powerful. "Ambassador, Elias," Valerius stammered, his scales turning a dull, terrified gray. We didn't know. The records were lost. We thought you were just—" "You thought we were weak," Elias interrupted. "Our ancestors left this galaxy to you to see if you could foster peace. They went back to the mud of Earth to live simple lives, to see if they could grow again without the burden of godhood. We forgot our past on purpose. We wanted to be your equals." He looked around the crumbling dark hall. "But you wouldn't let us be equals. You insisted on being masters, and a master who cannot care for his servants is no master at all." The station's lights turned bright gold. The humans had taken remote control of the entire galactic hub. "We are taking the keys back," Elias stated. "The jump gates are now under Terran control. The Dyson rings are ours. If you wish to use them, you will learn to speak to us, not as subjects, not as servants, but as the children you are, speaking to the parents you disrespected." Elias looked directly into the camera. "Humanity didn't just build the stars, Chancellor. We can also turn them off. Don't make us do it again." The hologram vanished. The Council sat in the dark, finally understanding the truth. The galaxy didn't belong to them. It never did. It was just a house, and the owners had finally come home to claim the deed. They wanted to mock our blood. Instead, they found their masters, and the galaxy would never be the same again.